Hey there, Rick's Recaps welcomes you to 247 Fahrenheit. The movie unfolds with Jenna in a car with her fiancé driving home at night. Suddenly the car crashes, claiming her partner's life and leaving Jenna injured. The scene then takes a leap 3 years into the future. Jenna is seen on a trip with her friend Renee accompanied by her boyfriend Michael and his friend Ian. Seeking to help Jenna move on from her fiancé's death and find a new relationship, Renee planned this trip. Ian also privately expresses his interest in Jenna to Michael. Moments later, they arrive at the lakeside cabin by boat, and find Ian's uncle Wade waiting for them. The cabin which belongs to Wade becomes their welcoming haven. Despite Wade's warm hospitality, Jenna politely declines a drink, slipping away into the cabin while the others enjoy their shots. Alone in the bathroom, Jenna retrieves a bottle of antidepressant pills, a remedy she's been taking since the tragic accident 3 years ago. Later, they all gather for dinner with Uncle Wade, getting to know each other better. Wade surprises them with invitations to a nearby private party before excusing himself to attend to some work. The group plans to relax in the sauna before heading to the party, with the boys getting an early start to prepare it. Renee assures Jenna that she doesn't have to join if she feels uncomfortable, but Jenna insists she's fine. However, as she gets ready, we notice she still wears her engagement ring on a necklace. Deciding to move on, Jenna takes off the necklace and places it along with her pills in a drawer. Inside the sauna, Renee, Michael and Ian are already enjoying themselves, and Michael eagerly anticipates seeing his girlfriend in a bikini. Eventually Jenna comes downstairs, still unsure about joining but is persuaded by Ian to enter. So she decides to join her friends in the sauna. Inside, Renee sips from a water bottle while the boys enjoy their beers. Ian reveals that Wade designed the sauna, showcasing its functionality by pouring water over the hot rocks, generating steam that intensifies the heat inside. Eventually, the temperature becomes unbearable for all of them, leading to Ian's decision of cooling off in the lake. After an enjoyable time in the water, they return to the sauna, with the girls going in while Ian and Michael share a drink in the kitchen. Inside, Renee checks on Jenna's mood. She is happy and enjoying. Meanwhile, Ian confides in Michael about his feelings for Jenna before heading back inside. In contrast, Michael starts drinking excessively, losing control over himself due to the alcohol. A while later, they return to the lake to cool off again, but when they come back, Michael drunkenly insists that Renee join him in his room. But she refuses his advances, leading to an argument with Michael, who storms out of the sauna slamming the door. Renee complains to her friends about Michael, and suddenly they hear a noise as Michael falls to the ground. Renee thinks he's just seeking attention. But as Ian tries to help him back inside, Renee stops him and asks him to leave Michael alone. As Ian closes the door, Renee changes her mind and decides to go to her room. She tries to open the door, but it won't budge. Ian attempts to open it as well, but it remains stuck, causing panic for Jenna. Renee calls out to Michael thinking he might have locked them in, while Ian also calls for him to let them out, but they receive no response. Jenna, who didn't take her pills before entering the sauna, starts to experience anxiety attacks. Renee worries that Michael being so drunk might forget they are inside. Jenna hopes that Wade will return and open the door for them, but Ian points out that when Wade returns, he'll likely assume they've gone to the party and won't check the sauna. Ian and Renee discover that the sauna door is blocked, leaving them trapped inside. Worried about their safety, Renee fears they may not make it out alive if they can't open the door. Unfortunately, the heat controller is outside the sauna, preventing them from adjusting the temperature. Realizing they can't wait for someone else to rescue them, Renee attempts to break the glass window, but it proves too weak to crack. Using wooden tool and a towel, Ian takes out a hot rock from the sauna heater, but it's still too hot to hold. So they sip the water from the bottle and pour the rest in a bucket for the rock to cool off. Once the rock cools down, Ian attempts to break the glass window with it using all his strength, but the window only gets scratched. Despite injuring his hands, he perseveres until he finally manages to break the glass, allowing some fresh air to enter. They call for help, but no one responds. They also realize a small ladder is blocking the door, and Ian ties the rock to the towels to move the ladder with it, but the rock is too small for the task. Renee suggests breaking the thermostat to lower the temperature, but Ian warns against it, explaining that it could lead to the temperature rising to a dangerous level of 247 degrees Fahrenheit at which human skin starts to melt. Jenna takes Ian's side, advising Renee not to tamper with the device, which sparks a heated argument between the two. The atmosphere inside the sauna becomes tense as their situation worsens. Ian then devises a plan to cut the power to the heater by blowing the fuse, but it backfires, causing the lights to go out, but keeps the heater running. He ends up getting severe electric shock which renders him unconscious. When Ian regains consciousness, he's too weak to move, and their predicament becomes even more dire with the heater still running and no lights. However, they find a glimmer of hope when they hear Wade's dog barking. They call the dog by its name and it locates them, but it's unable to open the door unless it finds someone to come and rescue them. The persistent barking of Wade's dog captures Michael's attention, and he appears sober and like he came from somewhere. Back there, Renee lets out a cry for help to Michael, but her voice gets drowned out by the noise of fireworks, which Wade just started with another guy. A short while later, Michael and Wade coincidentally meet at the back of the house, both ignoring the dog's barking. Wade inquires about Michael being alone. Michael answers he fell asleep on the couch after getting drunk and woke up to find himself alone in the cabin. Assuming his friends had left him behind to attend the party without him, he tried going there himself but was denied entry without an invitation. Forced to return to the cabin, he encountered Wade and the dog. Inside the sauna, the situation becomes dire as they run out of water, and Renee falls ill from the heat. She decides to break the temperature controller, believing it will lower the temperature, but Jenna intervenes, fearing it will worsen things. In the heat of the moment, Renee's yelling causes Jenna to accidentally hit her head with a rock, knocking her unconscious. Panicked, Jenna worries she may have harmed her friend. However, Ian reassures her that Renee is only unconscious. Overwhelmed, Jenna decides to break the controller herself out of desperation. Despite Ian's warning not to tamper with it, Jenna smashes the thermostat, causing the heat to skyrocket to its maximum of 247 degrees Fahrenheit. As the temperature rises dangerously, Ian's emotions spiral out of control, making Jenna fearful of him. Despite the pain, Ian persistently tries to move the heater in a desperate attempt to escape the escalating heat. Ian loses his mind and attempts to move the heater on his own, but it causes a gas leak, resulting in an explosion that severely injures him. At this moment, Jenna hallucinates that she has made it out alive, got some water to drink and poured on her body to cool off, but soon she finds herself back inside. Sadly, Ian loses his life in the explosion while Renee comes back to her senses, but remains weak. Jenna supports Renee by the broken window, tying her with towels for stability, but she eventually faints due to the intense heat. Unaware of his friends being trapped, Michael returns to the cabin, where a flashback reveals his unintentional mistake that led to their entrapment. He had accidentally knocked down a wooden step near the door, inadvertently trapping his friends inside. Later, Wade arrives at the cabin and discovers Renee's head visible through the window. Paramedics arrive, and Jenna and Renee are taken away on a stretcher, holding hands as survivors. Wade provides a statement to the police, while Michael, remorseful for his actions, sits and mourns the loss of his friend. And that's how the movie ends. Thanks for watching.